you fuck up?
Oh, no, that made it work somehow. Okay, so that's good. But this one, why aren't you working?
I don't know, man.
Oh, there, I fixed it, I guess. Now it's picking up audio.
Alright. We've
Alright.
maintained we've managed a very minimum of competency.
Yay! I don't know why it did that, because none of my settings were changed, but it didn't work. But now it does, so I don't
Technology.
care. Yeah.
Eh.
So hey
I want to meet.
guys, Lucky Red we got our boy, we got Izak here,
That's me. I'm Isaac.
and we're gonna tear up the anime fights that we thought of. Uh, I saw many other tier lists that we could have done, but those included over 200 fights, and I didn't. You know what? We're probably not gonna do that. So we're gonna,
We learned our lesson, I think, the first time.
yeah, and that one only had like 80 options. I think I don't remember actually.
So, yeah.
So we've got 6 tiers. Oh shit, I forgot one. Holy shit! How could I do this? I fucked up again. I always do this.
How could you do this to us?
I do this every time. It's because I have to. I just keep doing it, man. It's my own fault. I just keep doing this this every time.
Dave.
It's all right. I can fix it. Don't worry. I'll fix it. It'll take me 2 seconds to fix. Let's see. At a row.
Look at him.
No, why'd it go away? Text. There. Ah.
Oh, you added 2 new tiers.
No, I only added one. Only one.
Oh God.
I forgot about the most important tier. It's gonna be pink this. It's gonna be purple this time. Whew, that was close. Almost forgot the most important tier. So we have 7 tiers, and that could have been a disaster, but we fixed it. Don't worry. Where the fuck is this image? Gotta find it.
Somewhere in potential. It exists in the world of possibility. An infinite cosmos
There we go.
of potential.
There, fixed. So we now have all of
First
it.
off the bat, Chicken Little.
Chicken Little.
Fucking terrible fight scene. That whole movie,
Yeah.
like not one bit of the whole movie's like basically a fight scene. It's like not even good.
No, animation, story, all terrible.
What the fuck? Such hot garbage.
But
Alright, what's next?
so we'll go through our list. We've got amazing tier, great tier, good tier, okay tier, bad tier, terrible tier, and Chicken Little tier, of course. Our criteria for rating fights is pretty simple. We like to have 3 things in our fights. They have to have good They have to have animation, choreography, and story. Not necessarily in level of importance, but if it nails one of those things, sometimes it can, make up for the other things. It just really depends.
Also, like, pacing also matters.
Pacing does matter.
What?
That's true. That can, like, yeah. That's
We
a big.
didn't really discuss that. That does kind of blend in with story, but like
I think that.
Naka show.
Yeah, I think it
Sorry,
blends
go
in a lot with like choreography, because like how you use the time you have with your fight is an important part of making the fight itself.
Yeah. But there's other smaller criteria, but that's the 3 big ones we're looking at.
Yeah. Those are like the most important parts. So, our very first fight, because this thing naturally randomizes it, so I don't even know the order. I mean, I do, because it's in front of me, but outside of that. So, our very first fight we'll be discussing is from the most recent season of My Hero. We've got Shigaraki versus Redestro.
That's what that was. I've been staring at that for like 5 minutes trying to figure out what the fuck that is.
Yeah, it zooms. It when you put in the image, it zooms into it however the site wants to. It is a picture of Redestro's shoulder with Shigaraki looking over it, but
like from the little thumbnail, I was like, I don't think Gojo's in here. We didn't pick anything. Mason.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, so I couldn't really say much about it. I'm only a few episodes in.
None of the fights really blew me away outside of just it looked really nice.
Yeah.
Aside from the last fight, that's really good.
Yeah, I hear that's a really good one, but I haven't seen it. Also, the movie came out too.
This was a toss-up. So we made a rule. We would not pick more than 3 fights for one series.
Yeah.
And My Hero fights are almost without exception good fights, and there was only 2 that I felt like talking about that were not good fights, and that's this and Mirio versus Overhaul.
Yeah.
So with this fight, the big problem is I feel like they blew the budget on Ida kicking people in the higher frame rates.
That day,
And
yeah.
when we got to this one, it's not even that it's poorly animated, it's just underwhelming. Like, reading this fight in the manga, it was like a big standout moment. In the anime, not so much for me. It really just kind of fell flat for me.
I mean,
Sorry, go ahead.
Talking about the 3 main criteria. Choreography, there was like none. There was a lot of standing around talking. Story honestly felt better in the manga.
Yeah. To clarify, both of us generally like the fight scenes way better in the anime. This is actually a rare exception for that.
It is, yeah. And animation, I mean, it looks like an episode, so it looks good, but nothing like worth talking about.
It's got a fun little bit of Sakuga at the end, but even then, it's not very standout. It's more just like a little bit above the average, because there's a lot of kinetic energy in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and god damn it, change your color palette a little bit, please.
Oh yeah, because it's very bright and colorful.
Everything's bright and colorful, regardless of context. Like, Demon Slayer, in its most recent season, managed to deviate from the bright and colorful color palette while still maintaining the consistency of its character designs and color tone. Like, it deviates enough to change the tone of a scene. It's a bright fucking sunny day, if not for this battle to the death, I might not mind going outside.
Yeah.
It's still perfectly fine.
Yeah.
It's just, that was a big moment in the manga, and I had been looking forward to it, and it somehow got overshadowed by Ida kicking people in the fucking head.
That was pretty cool, though.
Ida kicking people in the head is great.
I mean, fuck
just
my
not
man.
at the cost of things that are actually narratively important.
I think I'm debating putting it in bad, but I think it's okay.
I think it's okay. I don't think it deserves to be in bad. It just falls flat.
Yeah.
Like, My Hero doesn't have straight out bad fights, in my opinion. It's got some that don't stand out as well. But there's not really any I would like be opposed to going back to. And we have shit on this list I don't want to watch again.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Next is Saitama versus Speed of Sound Sonic, the third one.
I actually forgot to rewatch it for this, but I remember enough of it.
So
You just fucking step
yeah,
into death.
it's like a 1 minute skit. I picked out this one for one simple reason. So I didn't watch the second season of the anime because I was more on the side of, man, this looks ugly, I'm not going to watch it. So, also I didn't have Hulu at the time, so I couldn't watch it if I wanted to.
I
However,
did watch it and it's fucking ugly.
but yeah,
It's the best for a lot of reasons, but ugliness was the most apparent.
yeah, so when we had a scene where it's just one I've actually read in the manga that I really, really liked was when Speed of Sound Sonic and Saitama essentially have a sidestep fight who can jump side to side the fastest. And that killed me reading that forever ago. But now, man, it was really, like, I was actually upset because I was like, I want to see this in animation when I heard that it was, hey, it's animated, go check it out. And I was like, okay. Nope, I did not. I was very upset, and that's why I included it, because though it's just a skit, it's the first time I was like upset about the anime, legitimately.
I'd put it in bad tier.
I'd also put it in
I don't
bad.
think it's terrible because it's not important enough to be terrible.
No, it's just a gag essentially, and honestly, it's still funny. It's just not fun to watch because it doesn't look good at all.
I feel so bad for that animation company. They didn't ask for. Well, they technically did, but the animators didn't ask for any of this.
Yeah, the animators didn't. The studio did.
Yeah, year and a half between pre-production and production time. That's fucking rough.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I think it was only a year and a half.
Also,
Like,
picking up a show that Madhouse already made perfectly, and then like Madhouse didn't have the budget to pick it up for any more seasons, so they just left it alone until someone got it when their contract ran out.
It wasn't a budget thing. It was a matter of they just had a full schedule already.
Yeah, and they were not gonna try and fit it in, and the show drastically suffered for it.
It's not that they couldn't get it and pick it up again. It's, as I understand how that conversation went, they're like, yeah, it's going to be a few years till we can get to that. And the
After it had already been a few years.
yeah, and the company behind that was like, so no, we're not going to wait. Let's grab this animation studio who's done 2 titles.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are just trying to fucking get their feet off the ground. Hey, you motherfuckers come in, offer them this shit, give them no time to do it. I feel bad for them. I don't know if they've made anything since. I hope they got a chance to, pick back up. But man, having a follow-up Madhouse is not fun on a good day. Let alone when you're a brand new studio and you have no time to work on it.
Mm-hmm.
So better than Toei Animation, though. All right, what's next?
Speaking of which, we've got pretty much everybody versus Jiren.
Oh, you put that on the list.
I did. That was one of the ones I pitched last minute.
I fucking hate you for picking that one. We don't have any Dragon Ball Z fights, and you picked 2 Dragon Ball Super fights?
I sure did, and this one is really good.
The ending is really good. The fight itself is whatever.
Fight itself is whatever, but goddamn, those last 8 minutes are perfect. Animation, the music, the choreography, it's so good.
I feel this fight perfectly sums up Dragon Ball Super as a whole.
A weak start
And
to
that
a
is-
beautiful finish.
No, mostly a bunch of muddled bullshit, and then some cool bit at the end. Big Super fan.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I'm sorry, little one. I don't know really how to rate this one because again, that fight goes on for forever, and picking a start
Yeah,
time to that
it's
fight is really fucking hard.
I did see one person like make the whole fight. It is an hour, and it starts when Goku and Goku first starts to fight Jiren the first time, and then continues when Vegeta joins in, and then Vegeta leaves.
So it starts at the beginning of the season, and then we get like
Middle, but
not
yeah.
right for instinct, and then we just cut off for
Yep.
forever while several other fights happen, and then they've decided this is still one continuous fight.
Yeah. The only real part I would say the fight truly starts is when Goku and Vegeta start fighting Jiren, because at that point they don't stop fighting Jiren for the rest of the season. Because that's when Frieza joins in, 17 joins in, Gohan joins in, people get eliminated, people switch out. But at the time, they're consistently fighting Jiren the entire rest of that part. It's literally right after they defeat Ainalaza.
I put it in high good tier.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's high good.
Like if we were going off just the ending, yeah, it'd be top tier.
Yeah.
But we're not going off just the ending. And there's some bits of really good animation in there. There's some cool scenes, but it just drags out. The pacing goes up and down and up and down. So I'm just good sounds right. I don't think it sounds terribly unfair.
Yeah. Also, I'll say in Z only has a handful of actually good fights. Real talk.
Z? Yeah, no, that's not fair. That's not unfair.
Like,
if
we don't
pick this just to like, because we're not picking just the best of every show. We're picking a you know,
Z
a range. And I would have liked to represent Z a little bit.
Sure. I should have put in Goku versus Frieza.
But this is an anime tier list. That would have gone bad.
Oh yeah, but that's like the fight from Z.
I mean, if I was gonna pick a fight from Z,
Cell versus Gohan.
It's Goku versus Vegeta.
Yeah, sure. Which one?
The first one.
So like the four of them versus Vegeta.
Yeah, everyone versus Vegeta until Goku shows up. And then Goku versus Vegeta for a while until Goku gets his fucking legs broken.
I would say, yeah, it's the opposite. It's Goku versus Vegeta, and then everyone shows up, and then they fight because Goku doesn't.
I was thinking a fight before that, but yeah, no. Goku shows up and they fight, and then Goku gets Ed Sheeran and.
What does that mean?
When your legs don't work like they used to before.
Oh. Yeah. Yep. You know what? That's pretty good. I did not think about that. That's pretty. All right. Anyway, let's go to the next fight. And I can't sweep you off your feet. Goku versus Piccolo Jr. from OG Dragon Ball.
Weird that those got put right next to each other in a list of 30.
I know, right? Well, the next Dragon Ball one's not until like the very end, so yeah, they're all over the place. But it is some of them are just right next to each other.
This is the best fight in the TV show.
Yeah,
that is the whole of every TV show of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think. Off the top of my head, I'd say Piccolo vs. Goku's the best one.
Yeah. It is probably. I would probably have to agree. This is probably the strongest one.
I mean, this is one. The only reason I picked it is because you did it, and I expected you to pick it.
I thought about it very hard.
And I figured since you didn't pick it, I would. That way, we both win. We both get to talk about it. Yeah, it's the end of Dragon Ball. It's the third and best World Martial Arts tournament. It's arguably one of the best arcs in the show. Or arguably the best, if not one of the best.
One of my fights didn't go on this list. I'll have to add that later. Add that in post.
Yeah, no, it's a fun fight. It's really well animated for 1989.
Yeah.
It holds pretty well after, a couple of remasters.
That's also true. That's there.
I think it's great tier personally.
Yeah, I think it's really, really good. It's hard for me to think. Like, I guess it's kind of slow at times. It does just kind of pause to.
And the animation quality is all over the place.
Yeah,
But
because
again,
because when
1989,
yeah, because it came out in 1989. Hold on,
and it was still like it's even more impressive because not only is it now 33 years old,
yeah,
um, it also was on a weekly schedule. They were releasing Dragon Ball nonstop.
yeah.
So, you know,
This is true.
it's kind of the equivalent in a certain way to modern One Piece, where it's like I don't really know where they get the time to make the show look this good.
Mm-hmm.
Toei Animation, please stop killing your staff. I mean, I like that it looks nice, but you know, give them a break.
Also, stop putting out bad quality. Do both somehow.
Just no, it's like part of the same thing. If you take breaks, you can work on quality
Yeah,
and not kill your animators.
yeah.
Like it's it's a it's a win-win situation.
I've got
Animators
I've
get
got
to see
3
their children.
fights I have to add in post, so we'll talk about those at the end. I also agree though. Have to make it great. Like I said, the only complaint I can think of is the fact that it pauses a lot. Outside of that, though, not really. When the choreography's there and when the animation's there, it's really good. The story's actually good, like the whole time.
And even when it's not, it's still perfectly serviceable.
Yeah.
Like its quality dip is never so much for me that it takes away from the fight in any huge regard. It stops it from being, in the top tier, but it's not crippling by any means.
All right. So next is Saitama versus Boros.
Oh yeah, this is one of my extras.
Honestly, one of the best examples of like minimal story, because the whole story is just the fact that Saitama and Boros have a similar story of power, and that's about it. Like in terms of them trying to find a tough fight is like the exact same story. Outside of that, though, there's really
this fight's gorgeous.
Yeah, the fight is gorgeous. The choreography is so fun.
I think this is great tier at minimum, and I think if this had more story behind it, this would be an S tier fight.
Yeah, because it is just like, but it's funny. It's great.
So,
yeah, that is true. It is the ideal, just like big punch finale of the season.
And for the show, that's really all it needed. But it doesn't have that same dramatic weight that, like, we're kind of looking for from a top tier fight.
Yeah. That is very true. So we'll put it in great. Should we put it in top of great? Or no?
And to tell everyone, we learned from our mistakes from our last tier list. We made sure we had bad shit on this list to kind of fill this out. And I'm not happy.
That's fair.
I mean, I am, because it makes for a better video and better discussion.
Yeah.
But I had to sit through that shit. No, I was not happy about it.
No, you messaged me saying I have to keep watching some. I watched a few of these already, and now I know I have to watch even more of them, and I'm really hate it, and I don't want to.
I spent an hour and a half at least of my day off.
Yeah.
An hour and a half of my day off.
I spent probably more than that just watching every fight. Some of them were pretty awful though.
I'm watching all these fucking awful ones, but this next one ain't one of them, is it?
No, it's all of Class 1A. Well, 11 members of Class 1A versus 9. Because it's Deku, hold on, Deku, Bakugo, Mineta, Ochako, Sato. No, Sato's not in this fight.
Jiro.
Jiro is. Sero is. That's what I was trying to think of. Sero is. Tailman. Is his name like Yujiro or something?
I have no fucking clue. Tailman.
Yeah, Tailman. Oh, what's Duplo Arm's name? Shoji.
Shoji, he just spent the whole fucking fight getting his ass beat.
Still part of it, man. Kaminari, Yayorozu, and Aoyama. So that's all of them. 11 members of the 20 people in Class 1A.
Yeah. So this is where the real fight begins.
Yeah.
S tier fight, me versus you, Zach.
Uh,
I think it's really fight that is let down by its fucking stupid ending.
I think it's a gorgeous fight that's fun, has a good dramatic story of the kids actually being heroes, like, for the first time on screen.
Absolutely my favorite part of the movie. I like literally just the ending of this movie lets it down for me. I think the rest of the movie surprisingly is really good
Oh yeah,
because it sets stakes away from the heroes.
yeah. I think the big surprise is good. I think nine's a pretty. Thought you meant you were going to. Legit thought you meant you were going to fight Zach.
No, we're gonna fight. He lives down the road. We're gonna fucking duke it out.
Yeah, we'll throw down. But I think it is pretty close to S tier, if not actually S tier. I would put it top of great. Because I love this fight.
I would put it low great because I'm sorry. As soon as the stakes shifted to the main characters, I stopped giving a fuck.
I still
because
loved
they
it.
knew it. That's where the movie fucks up for me. Is because I know the heroes are going to be fine because it's a movie. It's only canon because the author said so, and we know that it's not going to impact the story.
He also worked on it. He didn't just say so; he made it. The creator actually.
He made it, but like, it also doesn't matter. It has no impact on the plot moving forward.
Yeah.
So, in the context of whether or not it matters that it's canon, it doesn't. Doesn't matter that it's canon.
Yeah, but like,
it doesn't change anything.
Yeah, but like, dude, Goku wasn't gonna lose to Piccolo.
No.
Universe 7
but
wasn't
like,
gonna lose to Jiren.
Well, you saying that he wasn't gonna lose to Piccolo? Goku at this point had lost both the finals of the previous two World Martial Arts tournaments.
And he lost both of them by like one by blatant not cheating, but like manipulation. Yeah, and then the second one is by interference. The first one is by
the first one is Roshi outsmarts him.
Yeah. It's like, all right, let's head kick each other. Okay.
Let's head kick each other, even though your leg definitely can't reach my face.
Yeah, and then the other one is just really bad luck. So you're right, but those fights weren't really him losing.
It's the difference between I don't think Goku's gonna lose. It doesn't nothing about this makes me think he's gonna lose, and the difference between that and we know that nothing negative will come from this fight. This fight will have no repercussions.
Oh, sure.
Moving forward.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem with this fight. At the end of it, with the whole thing with, spoilers if you haven't seen the movie.
Mm-hmm.
With Midoriya gives Bakugo his power, and they both use All for One. Midoriya is all sad because he's got to say goodbye to All for One, or One for All. But it doesn't fucking matter because we know that he doesn't lose his power.
Yeah, but that happens after the fight's over. That's not important. This is
no.
I'm talking.
The implication of it happens immediately. It ruins the emotion of that fight for me.
Yeah, but that's after the fight. I'm talking about the fight. Fight's great.
Also, I fucking hate how 100% looks in the movie.
You're crazy,
I know I'm in the minority there. I fucking hate it.
I love Super Saiyan 2. With silly eyes.
I don't like it, man, and that's fair. That's just me, but no, my point stands 100%. As soon as, I'm gonna give you my power, but I'll have to say goodbye to it forever. It doesn't. No, you don't, because we know it doesn't matter. We know for whatever bullshit reason, and there is a bullshit reason. And actually, I take it back. There's no reason. It's just bullshit.
Yes. No, there's a
Because-
reason. It's just bullshit.
I don't count that as reason.
That's fair.
That's like me not showing up to work and my boss going, "Hey, why did you come to work?" 'Cause
And then
that's
no,
that's-
but then all of your previous workers who left before you got there decided to say that you could come in late. That's how it would happen. Anyway,
it's
I'll put it
Yeah, I'm
at
not-
bottom of great for right now.
mid grade. We agreed middle grade. You said high grade. I said bottom of grade. Mid grade.
Alright. Fine, mid great. Right above Boros.
But like, yeah, like the rest of that fight is fantastic. I won't take away from that. I know I went on a rant, but that's because that movie was so good until that point for me.
Yeah,
And like, it's kind of that like Wonder Woman effect,
yeah, that's
where
fair.
just the ending of the movie was stupid enough to ruin a lot of the rest of the movie for me.
Yeah. The difference for me
I
with the Wonder Woman thing is just the fact that it actually just contradicts its own plot.
I mean, it does, but I just ignore it.
Sure.
It's
Well-
a lot of shit, sure, but it's just how I enjoy the movie.
Yeah. Well, the next one is clearly the best fight on this list. We're talking about Inuyasha versus Bankotsu from Inuyasha.
Is this bad or terrible? Because this ain't the longest fight on this list that I sat
No.
through. Like,
No, it's only like what, 5 minutes?
it's like 8 minutes on YouTube. Like,
Yeah.
it's not the.
It's
I'm torn. This is not the most like painful thing I had to sit through today,
yeah.
but it's also the reason that 16-year-old me, with my terrible taste in everything, stopped watching Inuyasha.
I don't know. Even a fan said it's pretty cringe.
I think that's grounds for terrible. Honestly,
That was pretty
If
cringe.
a fan
Oh boy,
of the
Isaac's favorite show. Inuyasha, that's right.
funny enough, this is not on here purely because I dislike Inuyasha. This is on here because it made me quit Inuyasha.
I'd put it in just
it's
bad, but I
it's
think
okay,
we have enough
one-
grounds to put it at like top of terrible.
Yeah.
Because
like,
I was able to sit through it, but God, is it stupid. Choreography's awful, the story's bad, and the
this
and-
even
and-
choreography. Bankotsu slapping the shit out of Inuyasha while he blocks with his sword.
Yeah.
Inuyasha does a wind scar. It's like, oh, it didn't work, and
Yeah.
I can't use my backlash wave.
oh wait, I can use my
it's-
Blacklash wave. Yeah, and that's how it. That's
And
the
it's
fight.
like it's even worse in that regard because I didn't realize like it's not even like Inuyasha was smart about it. Because I was gonna
Yeah.
give him that little bit of credit, is at least he was clever enough to think
To use the
that-
backlash.
that-
Yeah, the Jill shards give him
Backlash
demon
wave gives
powers.
swords and energy.
Yeah.
No, because Bankotsu sits there and repeatedly states over and over again, "I can't use demon energy, but my sword sure can."
Yeah,
And he does this the entire fucking fight.
yeah, and that's why that dialogue is cringy because it's so stupid.
Like he's just like, "Hey, can you guess what Inuyasha's gonna do? Hey, do you know what he's gonna? Hey, guess how he's gonna win? He's gonna use that little backlash wave."
Yeah.
This is a bad fight. It's actually still not the worst thing on this list.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Not. I mean, it is currently, but like it won't be.
Yeah, it more than likely will not be.
Oh,
But next we've got
that's Morgan. Hi, Morgan.
yeah, it's Morgan.
I didn't look up to see who was in the chat, and I assumed it was James because he's in so many of our chats.
That's fair.
Um,
Comes with being part of the group. Next is a very underrated fight. She says hello.
Weirdly enough, I'm a few seconds. Well, because you're seeing it in real time. I'm
Yeah.
getting a delay out. I only just saw. Oh boy, it's Isaac's favorite fight.
Yeah.
So what's this one?
Very underrated. It's Young Toguro versus Genkai.
Oh boy. Speaking of the ending, undercutting it, but it's not the ending of this fight. It's the ending of the yard.
Yeah,
This is such an emotional fight when it happens, though.
absolutely. The action, the choreography's fine. Not a lot to it.
But it's very flashy. Like,
Yeah.
it might have pretty simple choreography, but its animation, again, for 1993 or 4, this is pretty fucking good animation.
Yeah. The story is great. We get their whole backstory during this fight.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's good. Tells a classic martial artist tale of picking between two paths.
That absolutely needs to be one of our tier list best mentor figures.
Mm. Well, Genkai was a good one.
Genkai's an absolutely fantastic mentor figure.
Yeah, and then she had to stick around.
I mean, I like that she stuck around, but yeah, no, like if she had died, it would have been more emotional.
Then
impactful.
she would be one of the best mentors. The fact that she comes back is literally just there to explain everything that's going on. She goes into the old trope of the character who gives all the exposition. Yep. But has nothing to do with this fight. This fight I'd put in good.
I think good is a good place for it.
Yeah, it's not amazing. It is underrated though, and it is good.
It's too short, and it's not a complex enough fight to justify putting it higher. But narratively, it's probably one of the stronger fights on this list, in my opinion.
It's also super important.
Yeah.
Until it's undercut, but that doesn't make it less important, at least.
Yeah, that happens like 20 episodes later, dude. That's like a basically different. That's basically a different show.
It's fair. Oh
like,
man,
doesn't really care.
The fight I just watched, Natsu versus Dragneel. I needed my refresher.
You mean Natsu versus Gajeel?
Gajeel, yeah. Why did I say Dragneel? That's his last name.
Natsu.
So I just watched this before we started, and man, is it a shit fight? God, it's so boring.
Oh my god. There is so much. I actually no. There's so much bad with this fight. There is nothing original about this fight. You could argue that's not a bad thing, but there's nothing original about the unoriginal shit it does.
It's just
there's no twist on it.
No, the whole fight is Gajeel beats the hell out of Natsu. Natsu realizes his breathing fire hurts his armor for some reason. His explanation for that is, by the way, his breathing fire is so it can go through anything. That's the explanation. Yeah, except for the things it can't go through. So he does that,
like the floor.
And then he keeps trying to do it, but then Gajeel starts beating him up some more. And then they break the floor, and then Gajeel eats metal, and now he's strong again. And now Gajeel beats him up some more, and just keeps beating him up until Lucy summons a horse that realizes, oh, you need me to make fire, or you need me to have fire, not make fire. So he makes fire by breaking stuff, and then Natsu eats that, and then he beats up Gajeel, and the fight's over. And by beats up, he shit stomps me. He hits him with one big punch, he breathes at him, and then he punches him a bunch of times, and he wins.
This is worse than the Bankotsu fight by virtue of at least Inuyasha beating Bankotsu. At least there's like a reason for it.
Yeah.
Like, it's stupid, but there is. Natsu just literally, oh, I'm back to full strength. Oh, okay, but like, so is Gajeel, so why do you just now get to fucking beat his ass?
It also asks the question of why didn't Gajeel just eat more metal?
Well, no, he couldn't, because like Natsu let him eat, but Natsu wasn't about to let him eat twice, because that's unfair. He got one freebie.
Yeah. This isn't Dragon Ball. You only get one power up.
Yeah, like, otherwise you could just ask why didn't Natsu punch him in the face when he was trying to fucking eat, because who the fuck sits down to eat in the middle of a fight?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He could have just beat him up. He was full and didn't want to upset his tummy. Oh, that's why he didn't eat. That makes sense.
That does clear up that really stupid fucking bit there. Yeah, that's the worst fight we have so far.
Yeah. Also, I could totally see Fairy Tail giving that explanation. Is that he didn't want to upset his tummy, but they didn't. He just didn't do that. Now a fight that is weirdly very popular and not popular enough. It's Takatsugi versus Gintoki. Because, man, so the fight is 2 minutes. And it's great.
This is a fucking painful watch fight because they're just fucking body blocking everything.
Yeah, they keep damaging themselves and their swords and get mutilated because of it.
No, weirdly enough, the only thing it doesn't fucking break is Gintoki's wooden sword.
Yeah.
Gintoki's wooden. Takatsuki's metal sword broke. Both their bodies broke. But
Freaking
not that wooden sword.
Gintoki is unable to block one stab, so he uses his freaking arm to just get stabbed instead. It's like, oh, what am I gonna do? I'll just get stabbed. Yeah, no, Takatsuki takes a beating, and Gintoki gets, like, repeatedly cut and stabbed.
I mean, Takatsuki stabbed with a wooden sword. I gotta imagine that's actually more painful. Than Gintoki stabbed
you're
with
right. You would feel
sword.
it. You would feel it more. You would break more bones. Though, the other one would be far more severe wounds.
No, it wouldn't, because like that's making a cut into your body. A wooden sword, that's making a hole into your.
Well, he doesn't go through him with the wooden sword.
Oh, he does.
Does he?
Oh, he does. He goes like right through his shoulder.
Oh, does he actually go through
Or,
it? I thought it was just the impact. I don't think he actually stabbed through him. Also, splinters. There are no splinters. The sword doesn't break. His wooden sword is perfectly fine. I think
Yeah, I think like he spilled curry on that sword before. Like,
he probably has. No, he doesn't like curry.
no, that's not a joke. He does do that. There's a whole time where he's going to get a new wooden sword because he spilled curry on his current one, and now it smells like curry.
I love Gintama.
It's such a good show.
Yeah, man. Only show that can be both just completely one of the dumbest series ever, and yet have like several, like essentially 4 or 5 series arcs, and all of them are amazing.
I think it's a great tier fight.
I agree.
Sorry. I don't know where in great tier it's not a very long fight, and it's not the most impressive on a visual level. Still well animated, just nothing to write home about.
Yeah, but that story, man, it's really good.
If you want to put it tier, I'm not gonna fight.
Yeah, I want top of great. I think it's amazing.
Better than Piccolo though. That's. Oof.
I think it is barely, mostly just because of the inconsistent animation, probably.
But yeah, but it's at least a long enough fight to have that.
Hey,
fight is over.
that means
Just so you get
pacing,
it.
bro. That pacing's S tier.
I mean, that's fair. I still feel like I needed more from that fight.
Oh,
So I don't think
that's
the pace is quite that good.
yeah. But I even said my only complaint with Goku vs Piccolo is the pacing is not very good.
I mean, my only complaint with this fight is this fight's just not long enough.
Yeah. Which, hey, I mean, when your biggest complaint is I want more, that's a pretty good complaint to have.
I mean, it depends on the context, but yeah, we'll leave it there.
Now a great fight. Kurama versus older Toguro.
Oh fuck, I forgot that was on here. I was like, that looks like a Yu Yu Hakusho background.
It sure is.
But I couldn't actually see what that is. I forgot I put this on this list. So this is not here because it's the best Kurama fight. This is not here because it's the worst Kurama fight.
No.
This is here because it is a great example of why Kurama's fights are almost all terrible.
Yeah.
It's because he just makes bullshit up.
Yep. The whole fight is Kurama instantly realizes that this guy is not who he says he is. He's right. It ends up being older Toguro. Older Toguro just starts beating the hell out of Kurama for a little bit, but turns out Kurama put a seed on him that will suck his life force and make him see nightmares forever. And it's like coincidentally the only thing that could have beaten this guy who is completely immortal. That level of just convenience and just I have a plant that can win this fight specifically is why Kurama's fights are almost all just plain awful. because they're boring, and then they just have a finish out of nowhere.
Yeah,
The-
their finisher is just. I outsmarted you by just pulling something out of my asshole.
Yeah, the only time I think that was fine was when we got Yoko Kurama, and that's just because that was at least a cool moment.
That was cool, and it at least was like narratively driven.
Yeah, that fight still isn't very good, but at least that moment is cool. And there's a narrative. I think this is pretty terrible. I think this is terrible. I think it's top of terrible because I like it more than these two.
I think it's bottom of bad tier by virtue of.
Oh, yeah?
Honestly, this one specifically, at least it's cool.
Yeah, I guess it is at least a cool. Yeah. Next.
Like, the other ones are just not entertaining. This is stupid, but it's at least a little entertaining.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Seeing him try to keep killing Kurama, but then it turns out the Kurama he's killing, who is immortal, is just an illusion, was a pretty cool reveal, at least. Also, man, that tree revealed in his body was, man, that was haunting for a child to see that for the first time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Next, a fight I think most people have forgotten is Joseph Joestar versus a vampire. What is this name?
That's Straits.
Straits. Yeah.
Well, you gotta think because he's one half of Dire Straits.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Because there's another guy whose name is like Dire or something, some like knockoff version of it.
Sure. I remember this part for like a second because he gets jumped by vampires. He finds a Tommy gun and then he kills the vampires.
No. He doesn't find a Tommy gun. He had one.
Vampire versus man with a bat.
Behind him, like, dude, when did your Bugs Bunny ass get a Tommy gun?
That's right, and then he fills it with Hamon to punch a guy.
He somehow in a split second ties like 12 grenades to his back.
Man, I probably should.
Not watch this?
Yeah, I guess this was the only one I didn't watch because I don't remember any of this. Yeah, I hadn't watched this one. I rewatched like everything else. It was just this one. Oh, there was actually one more I didn't watch, so you'll have to cover that one too. I'm afraid I forgot to catch that one.
That's fair. I think this is a bottom of good tier fight because there's a whole lot about this that makes zero fucking sense.
Well, Tommy gun is a big one.
Him having a Tommy gun behind his back is one. Like, where did you get that, Joe? Him having grenades is like, why would you have grenades?
For this
like
one situation?
Yeah, like 1930s New York, alright, yeah, like, you know, I imagine everyone had a Tommy gun in their back pocket, sure. But grenades?
And a lot of them, too.
Yeah, not just a few, a lot. Just like duct taped all of them to Straits' back. Yeah, it's fun and it's a really good way to introduce Joseph as a combatant.
Yeah. It is also the first time we see him clever. Him being clever.
Yeah, outside of him breaking the cop's finger with the Coke bottle cap. Excuse me.
Yeah, but that was more just like a creative way of using his powers. This is the first time we get the what you're gonna say next moment.
Yeah.
Which is still my favorite thing that did, like, in pretty much any show that didn't stick. Because, like, we only do it the one time, and then we get it one more time in part 3, but, man.
Well, I will say, that's not the first time he says that. He says it against some fucking mafia guy in a restaurant in, like, the scene prior to this, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Because it's, like, the second scene of the show, right after he beats Smokey.
Yeah. And then he guns down some vampires in a local shop.
Yeah.
But they're fine because they're vampires. And then he punches one.
Beat up cops in the morning, spend the afternoon with your granny, and then, you know, in the evening fight vampires with a Tommy gun and a bag full of grenades.
It is funny hearing Nigel Uno pull out a Tommy gun.
It is funny watching that in Japanese because it's not fucking terrible.
but it can be... Dude, terrible can always be funny.
Nigel Uno is actually fine.
Yeah,
Like, he's not everyone else in season 2. Although I will absolutely say, Stroheim's fucking voice actor is in this show. I'm not making a comment on his talent. In this show, it's awful, but it's awful in every way you want it to be.
It's fair. So I'm gonna just put our next one at the top. I'm gonna put it in amazing. So it's the final fight from Naruto vs Sasuke 3. Like, dude, I stopped watching Naruto way before this happened, but like when I heard about it, I had to watch it. I didn't even read it, so I didn't know what happened. And yeah, man, it's
This fight makes me care about Sasuke, who's a fucking travesty of a character.
fair.
That's impressive.
It's pretty impressive. I mean, dude, the final shot of them about to hit the Rasengan and the Chidori, and then every character coming behind Naruto to help him form it, and then the final person is Sasuke. That's some like peak character shit right there.
Oh, you missed a small detail, I think.
Oh, what's that?
Because one person does help Sasuke.
Oh, that's right.
It's Itachi.
Yeah, it's just Itachi. I mean, man, that's amazing. S tier, man. I love it so much. Not to mention,
Also,
any fight that starts with big overpowered attacks and then ends with people just punching each other. Love that shit. that's my favorite shit.
Also, as someone pointed out, like, this fight really makes them seem equally matched until you realize that no, Naruto could have whooped Sasuke's ass.
Yeah, but he didn't want to. He was just trying to prove a point.
Yeah, someone made two very good points on why Naruto could have fucking folded Sasuke. The first one was Naruto's just not trying to kill him, where Sasuke's definitely trying to kill Naruto.
Yeah.
The other one is Naruto was in that whole fucking war, that whole time fighting everybody, getting his ass beat by Madara long before Sasuke ever showed up, and was handing out his chakra like fucking candy.
Also
to
true.
everybody, just giving it to everybody. So Naruto had like 80,000 fucking final fights before this final fight. Sasuke had like 1.5.
Yeah, that is very true. Because they did all fight Kagura before this, so that's fair.
And you know, Sasuke did help get his ass beat by Madara.
Yeah. So there was that too.
Know.
But yeah, no. But God, the fight is it's amazing, man. I have, like, going into it the first time, I was just amazed. Animation, choreography, story, it's all fantastic. This is an amazing fight, easily.
What also might be the most impressive part is the fact that this fight is like 80 fucking minutes long, and it never looks anything short of great.
I think not including like all the extra shit. I think it's like 45 minutes, something like that. But yes, that entire time it looks spectacular.
Yeah.
And we even get moments of it even looking
some
better.
He died making this.
Yeah, I could believe that.
We gotta honor their sacrifice by repping.
Yeah, absolutely. Next, a complete tonal shift. We're going to the opening scene from Hinamatsuri.
Or the closing scene, depends, because we come full circle back to it.
So this fight happens, twice, but the first time it happens in the intro to the show. This has nothing to do with the show at all. It just happens. This girl ends up getting jumped to. They're trying to steal her smartphone, right?
No, I actually don't remember where they're chasing her.
Okay, so they're
for some reason.
Yeah, so they're chasing her. There's these martial artists, and they just attack her. Just go watch it. It's only like a couple minutes. It's hilarious and extremely well animated martial arts fight with great choreography. There's no story. There's no reason. There's some.
No. They're trying to like capture her. That's a story.
Or like take something from her, but we don't remember what that is. And it's really good, and it's from the creators of Kiss X Sis of all people, and it looks so good. It's
I mean, that's just Hinamatsuri in a nutshell. Why does this look so good?
why is it so
It
good?
doesn't need to look good.
No.
It's a dumb fucking slapstick comedy, and yet they still bust out that fucking budget whenever they get a chance.
Yeah. Because it's a nothing, I can't put it any higher than just good, but like,
It's bottom of good tier. That's
yeah,
It's
it's
good for the fact that yeah, it really doesn't have any story going on.
no, at least
Like-
none that matter at all. It's just its own thing, but it's
It's here because it's hilarious and it's unreasonably well animated and choreographed.
yeah, and that's the joke, and it's a great joke.
Right.
Now
Also, all the marks were just yelling "owie."
that's right, I forgot about that.
Owie, owie.
So, all right. So I'm gonna go through the 3 that I had to add in later, real quick before we go in the last set of them.
Oh, that,
So first off, let's talk about Kakashi versus Obito.
that might be better than Naruto versus Sasuke.
I mean, I don't know. It's only 8
Here's the
minutes.
thing.
The choreography is excellent. The story is excellent. Animation's excellent.
Here's the thing, though. The one thing it has over literally everything on this list, the editing and music.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like no talking,
I-
nothing. It's just them fighting.
Yeah, the cutting back and
Oh
forth
my God,
between their fight as a kid and their fight as adults.
And how every transition is
just-
perfect.
Yeah, as the sad music in the background just keeps building and building.
I'll
It's so
I'll put it in
I would
amazing.
say-
I technically can't put it above Naruto Sasuke because I have to put it in over
that's fine. I don't think it's fair to pick between the two.
because
They're very different.
they're very different. That
And
is, they're both excellent. like as we've said many times, we're not the biggest Naruto fans, but there's one thing we can't argue with. It's like, yeah, they do have the best fights though.
I don't think either of us would actually call ourselves Naruto fans. But
Yeah,
a spade's a spade. It's a good fucking fight.
yeah, but like, yeah, we can't really call ourselves Naruto fans. I can say I enjoy most of Naruto at least, but I can say, man,
It's really-
the show has like the best fights. Studio Pero, man, they went on another
Yeah,
level
we
with
ripped
Naruto.
the shit out of them 2 minutes ago. Technically not their fault though.
Yeah,
They also make
dude,
Yu Yu Hakusho.
they did Yu Yu Hakusho. They did Bleach.
Oh damn! So it's not even the last time we're going to talk about them.
No, and it's not going to be as positive. So, we also got to talk about
Don't read it.
what is probably my least favorite fight of all time. We've got to talk about Goku versus Super 17 from Dragon Ball GT. I rewatched this fight because I remembered shots of it, but I forgot the whole of it. Man, it is much worse than I remember. It is.
This was the one I couldn't bring myself to rewatch because I had watched it only a couple of years ago, and I already knew it was terrible.
Oh, it's so bad. The start of the fight, Goku comes in, punches 17 to the stratosphere. Goku goes after him. They fight some more in some very awfully animated scenes. Goku gets beat up a bit. He goes Super Saiyan. He beats up 17. He keeps shooting Ki Blast, which already seems weird because Goku like only does that in GT for some reason. Now 17 starts beating him up. Goku goes Super Saiyan 4. He keeps firing Ki Blasts. Then he shoots a big Kamehameha. Now 17's too strong, starts beating up Goku. Goku keeps trying to attack, but is like, man, I can't use my attacks.
You'd think the fucking clown that beat the shit out of you while you were having a heart attack would have kind of like made more of an impact on you. Like maybe you'd remember that because
Yeah.
that's what he did. He just ate your Kamehameha waves and then fucking beat the shit out of you while you had a heart attack.
Yeah. But this keeps happening, and then Goku gets beat up to the point where he loses all his strength. 18 shows up to shoot ki blasts at 17, which he absorbs, and then Goku's like, wait a minute, I can use this, and then he Dragon Fist through him, and then blasts him with a Kamehameha, which works this time. The end. The fight is over. It's extremely boring. The animation is terrible. The dialogue is worse. And the choreography is garbage.
The question is this worse than Natsu versus Gejeel? Because I don't. I'll at least
think
say,
it
like,
might
the way
be.
they 17 is kind of clever.
Yeah. I mean, I physically can't put it above it, so it's gonna have to sit behind it regardless. But I'd put it at least, like, if not below it, just above it, because it's pretty awful.
I don't think it would beat it by much. If it did beat it.
Like it.
But again, I have, like, nothing good to say about that fight.
No. I don't have nothing good to say about Gajeel versus Natsu either, but I mean, it didn't look as terrible. That's what I can say about Natsu versus Gajeel. It didn't look as awful.
That's fair. We'll just leave it there. It's fucking bad.
It's fucking bad.
It really doesn't matter. If you're in terrible tier,
yeah,
you're almost kind of beyond redemption.
Yeah, you're terrible. It's just that simple. Next, and the final one, the only good one I had to talk about the other one that's really good. Yusuke versus Toguro, the classic fight.
Oh, I didn't know this was getting put on here.
Yeah,
man, 3 Yu Yu Hakusho's.
Yeah, man.
Fuck. I haven't watched this fight in a little bit. Not since my last watcher of Yu Yu Hakusho, which was a few years ago.
If I like, as a complaint, I do have to say the pacing is pretty bad. The animation is mostly good. I don't think it's all good. And the story is also mostly good.
I'll say the story is, for the most part, excellent.
Yeah. The only
hiccups.
Yeah, the hiccups I think of is all about his, like, confidant, the rich guy. All that shit is...
I don't even care about that. I have one complaint about this fight, and that's the fucking fake out death of Kuwabara. And if you say spoilers, this shit's fucking 30 years old.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, just shy, because it was like 94. It was 28 years ago.
So,
but
my complaint
yes.
beyond this is a non-fight fight. There's very little fighting happening in this fight.
Yeah, it's a lot of big moves and just punches, which is why the choreography is not very good.
Just big moves.
Yeah, well, there's a few parts of Yusuke just punching him a lot. He's not punching back. Every time he punches, it almost kills Yusuke.
Yeah.
His big moves are normal punches. I'd put it in great tier. It's still a great fight. Most of the animation
here is at the very bottom.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's the only place I can put it, but I would also put it there anyway, so that one works out.
Like, it would be top of good tier or bottom of great tier. Like, narratively, I really like the build up to this fight. This fight has a ton of build.
The build up's excellent. It's just like the actual story stuff is on, like, it is mostly good. Like,
thematically, I think it's fantastic because this is, you know,
it is definitely. I mean, the whole story is literally Yusuke, this unbelievable powerhouse now, versus the immovable object that is Toguro. That's the short of it. Outside of that, it's a revenge story, a master revenge storyline.
It's Yusuke's in a rough position because beating Toguro might actually just lead him to be the next Toguro.
Yeah, which he still does, and it kind of does a little bit by the end, but not immediately after this arc.
No, I mean, in a manner of speaking, but no, Yusuke chooses family over power. That's the big takeaway here. He chooses...
Until later.
That is the one good thing I will say about Genkai's death and resurrection.
Yeah.
Is thematically, it fits really well. Because...
No, everything... Genkai's death and resurrection is fine. The problem is what they do with it after is terrible.
I mean, again, I'm fine.
And
For
I
the
do
most
agree,
part.
Kuwabara's fake death is just completely unnecessary.
Well, yeah, we gotta. This is weird because at a certain point, I actually thought this was just completely riffing off the Gohan versus Cell fight. Because if you actually look at the two next to each other, they are almost identical fights.
For the
The
most
reason
part.
it's not ripping, the reason this isn't ripping off Cell or even vice versa, is because they came out within weeks of each other.
Damn. Well, this definitely does the Cell versus Gohan much better.
I agree because there's actually build up.
Yes, it's not just power up out of nowhere and then.
Build up, but none in the arc none in the Cell and Android saga.
Why does 16? Why is that the catalyst for Gohan to change? They've talked right now. They haven't interacted.
This is the first time at words.
Why is that like? Why is his friends being beaten to death not big enough deal for him? Why is 16 dying in front of him the big
His
catalyst?
dad's getting the shit kicked out of him, and so is Goku.
Yeah, and so is Goku, but he doesn't see. He's upset about it, and that's it. But no, 16 saying, "Hey, you need to be angry sometimes. It's okay. Stop being a pacifist. Punch things."
I get it thematically. There's just no build up to it.
No,
But
it's
we're not talking about. We're talking about this one, and this one's a perfectly solid fight. It just carried very much so by its narrative weight
Yeah.
versus
Also,
the
it's
actual
just
American fight.
it's just anime importance. Like as a kid who grew up in the early 2000s and late 90s, like this is like one of the anime fights.
Also, I've been beating up a bit on Yu Yu Hakusho here. Yu Yu Hakusho is one of the best shonen out there, in my opinion. It's just,
The fights
and
suck.
maybe because of this, the fights are not really the reason it stands out so well.
No, it's the characters. Characters are great.
It's the characters, and it's honestly, it's the tone. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of other shonen shows that feel anything close to what Yu Yu Hakusho feels like.
Yeah. But unfortunately, the fights are honestly mostly garbage. There are
They're
exceptions.
They're generally passable with a couple standouts like Hiei versus Bui.
Yeah, which was very fun.
Oh.
And Hiei vs. Yusuke is like a fun non-fight.
Yeah.
But in
Oh.
terms of like even some of the big fights, like they're not great. It's more about the
Yeah,
moments than it is the fights. Next one.
Honestly, of the big fights, I think the only one is actually Yusuke and Togoro's first fight with Kuwabara. Kuwabara and Yusuke versus Toguro.
Yeah,
I
the
think
fight's
it's the
actually
only one
great.
that's actually kind of a standout
Alright.
for the big climactic fights.
Alright, I'm going to put this in the middle for now, because that's how I've kind of been organizing them, but I think this is going to be in great tier. This is Uzui versus, what's his name?
Oh no, this is Uzui versus Gyutaro,
Yeah.
and this is the only thing that I picked that I will fight to be in top tier.
Oh, you
This
think
fight
it's
is
amazing?
Oh, absolutely. First of all, we don't have a fight on this list that looks better.
Woo, Uzui. He is very hot, I'll give you that.
I mean, I love Uzui. Like, he's great.
He is great.
But no, there is not a fight on this list that looks better than Uzui versus Gyutaro.
That's very true. Though I do actually consider this fight to be everything that happens. Like, pretty much the minute Gyutaro appears, he's fighting the entire time.
I mean, yeah.
But that is mostly
Gyutaro
very good.
Yeah. Gyutaro is... he's good to the extent that he needs to be. He's fun, he's entertaining, but if he had been around any longer, it's debatable whether or not they would have had to add more to him.
Yeah. To be fair, his scene of condescendingly breaking Tanjiro's fingers was actually such a great villain moment.
Oh no, it's great. I think he is a very good villain for the amount of time he had.
God, I was not ready for it when I was watching that. He just goes up to him, he's talking to him, and he just breaks his fucking fingers. I was like, God.
He just keeps slapping over the top of his head gently.
Ah.
Just pop. He just rude.
I was actually also I was also talking to people today about season 2 and how it's very good. Though they pointed out a very interesting thing that Zenitsu in the season is actually, they felt really good, even the times where he wasn't just sleeping. But they thought Tanjiro was actually completely insufferably whiny in the
Oh,
SARC.
you're talking Damien Beckett, weren't you?
Yeah, we went to a Japanese festival today. It was fun.
Oh, cool.
It was all the way. It was like 2 hours away though, so it was pretty long drive.
Oh, jeez. I didn't realize you guys were doing that.
It was
yeah, no,
honestly it was kind of boring, but
I get where they're coming from. I don't agree, but I see where they're coming from. I don't.
I also couldn't disagree because Tanjiro's always to me been kind of whiny.
To me, he was doing nothing new and nothing upsetting to me, but I get their point.
Man,
But we're not even talking about Tanjiro's fight. We're talking like Tanjiro's in this fight a bit, but the standout bits were purely Uzui's fight with.
But what's the story here?
I mean, the story is they're fighting like basically immortal vampire people who are killing people in droves, and they're trying to rescue Uzui's many lives.
Yeah, but they're rescued now. So what is it?
Huh?
I mean, this is an amazing fight. Does it nail the 3 criteria amazingly, like our other amazing fights?
Let's see if we have an amazing tier.
You know what? No, they made a really good point. It is a hot guy with 3 wives beating up an incel. That is pretty amazing. I can't disagree.
Yeah, no, that's...
that is pretty much the story.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to put it above Naruto and Sasuke. I don't even know that I'd put it above Obito and Kakashi, but I do think it is an amazing fight.
Yeah, alright. I'd put it top, at least in gray, but I'll concede it is very good.
Yeah, but like,
I think it's more amazing if you count everything, though. I'll be honest.
That's fair, and I am kind of counting everything. For me personally, I kind of put this as shorthand because Uzui's last stand against Gyutaro at the end is really the highlight of everything. Like, that was the jaw-dropping scene. But in terms of animation and choreography, this is like a 9 or 10 out of 10 almost the entire time from like episode 5 on.
Yeah.
Until the fight ends in episode 10.
Yeah, when the fight actually starts.
Narratively, I don't think it drops below a 7. Its narrative is not complicated, but it's probably in its benefit. It's not complicated, and they just kind of go with it.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm gonna put this at top of terrible because it's pretty terrible.
No, that's fair.
Our next fight is Meliodas versus Escanor.
This fight gets a lot. Like, I give it a lot of credit because it was short and nothing about it was causing me a major headache. Unlike the other fights I had to fight, this is an awful fight.
Oh yeah.
It looks terrible, and I do like just everything about its framing and everything. I just don't care. But because I didn't care, I didn't absolutely hate watching it.
Right. Nothing upset you. It was just like, yeah, this is bad.
The 2 below it absolutely upset me to watch. Like, I had a headache coming out of the Natsu Geo fight just because it was so fucking cliche.
Yeah. But this fight, I mean, it's once again one of those fights where it's a one-sided beatdown. But then the fight just ends because good guy pulled out big super attack. Except it looks ugly as sin the entire time. Ha. Accidental puns are nice. But it's ugly. The story of the fight is dumb. It's literally just, hey, Meliodas got his old demon personality back. Now he's bad. And Escanor is the strongest human, so he has to beat him because he's a tough human. That's about it. And choreography is also not great. It's a lot of just one punches that are really strong or one attack that's really strong, and then we get the reaction shot of everyone seeing them beat up or not beat up. That's it. Dude, when you have an app game that actually looks better, like there's an app game that has Escanor's big final form attack from this scene, and it looks better than the show. That's awful. Fucking app game, a mobile game looks better. That's
That's depressing.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
That's-
so it's top of terrible tier by virtue of not being the most painful to watch,
that's about it.
but it's still
Yeah, still terrible. Definitely an awful fight. Could the other studio done it better? I'm gonna say absolutely, but I still don't think it would have been great. But hey, if it would have looked gorgeous, I think at least it could have been something.
yep.
Next fight, though, is a case of only a little bit of good animation, pretty mediocre choreography, but one of the best stories in anime. All Might versus All for One is somehow just big punches after big punches or big attacks with reaction shots just like the last one, except the story is excellent and there's one scene of just and the animation's decent the full time, but the final shot is just S plus tier in level of gorgeousness.
Yeah, the choreography is non-existent. The animation is non-existent for most of the fight, but the art is never bad.
No.
It might be lots of stills, but it's at least competent. Whereas Seven Deadly Sins doesn't even reach competent with its stills.
No, they look very
It's
ugly.
just-
It's just bad. But this fight, man, that the final few seconds and the story are great. The whole story of All Might, the symbol of peace, being broken down to his very core, but yet still sacrificing himself to protect all innocent life. Literally a girl in trouble, and he just takes blows so she doesn't get hurt. And him thinking that he's done now that he won't have his power, he can't be a hero anymore. But everyone's still cheering for him, only for him to sacrifice it all to fight the big villain. It's perfect classic comic book stuff, but one of the first times you see that kind of thing in anime, and it's done so perfectly.
On top of that, these 3 episodes that comprise this fight are easily my most revisited episodes in My Hero.
Oh, they're all great.
Like,
Oh, man,
I feel
plus-
like this
plus-
is top of great tier, personally,
Yeah.
for me.
I can agree.
And it would be an amazing tier if not for the fact that it doesn't have any choreography.
Yeah.
And by our own criteria,
Yeah.
you gotta
Yeah.
be competent in 3.
But man, the visual storytelling of like half of his body being drained, only like his fist or one part of him still is keeping. It's so perfect, man. So good.
So fucking good.
And the final shot of him using what little strength he has left just to pose one last time. And that's saying, he's being the symbol of hope. It's like, perfect. Done. You did it. It's also one of the cases that we brought up why the other My Hero fight kind of falls short is this is like the most important fight to that point. It affects the rest of the world for the rest of the series.
On top of that, this fight does what I complained that My Hero never does. It actually changes the visual tone to match the story happening.
Yeah.
This is full of super dark shading, like counteracted by really, especially All Might's very bright poppy colors.
Yeah.
But like as the fight drags on, he gets more and more blackened.
And I just thought about how good the music is too. God.
Oh, it's amazing.
All for One's theme is so good. That's some Sephiroth level like great villain music.
I don't think it's quite that good, but it's like the next step down.
Oh, it's so good.
And it's so pretentious too, and it's perfect for All for One.
Yes. The fact that it's like a slow burn into gospel music, it's great. Next, we've got Akaza versus Rengoku.
The complete fucking opposite of what we were just talking about. Spectacular animation, spectacular choreography. Goddamn, does this dialogue fucking ruin this fight?
The story, my boy, I love Rengoku and Akaza actually, but the story is fine, but it's not told very well.
All right, let me clarify. This for me is great tier. It's not lower than great tier.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it would be amazing tier, without question, if not for the fact that its dialogue is so bad. Like,
You should be a demon so you can fight forever because you're really tough. I don't want to do that because being human and have it being fleeting is what makes being human so great. But
and you need to say that once, and they didn't stop there.
but you could be
Like,
literally to the very end when Akaza puts on a big brutal attack on Rengoku. He's like, "Come on, be a demon real quick, cause then we can fight and you're really strong and we can fight forever." And he's like, "No, I'm a human, so our life is fleeting because that's what makes it special." It's like, dude, we get it, man.
This is a really good fight.
It's so
And
good.
it's honestly better in Japanese because I don't speak Japanese.
Yeah, so I can
And so
deal.
I don't
He can
really
deal.
have to hear that awful dialogue. But I watched it in one time in English. I don't think Demon Slayer is good in English in the first place. I watched it in English once because I was over at a friend's house. Good old Melody Yellow.
Oh,
and,
does he actually watch dubbed? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Tayshawn is also pretty adamant about watching dubbed, which I'm fine with for the most part. Demon Slayer is just not gonna get dubbed.
I'm not very adamant. I just like to know what I.
To clarify, like the All for One fight, that's better dubbed. Like that's a great.
Oh,
Chris
That's-
All Might is great.
Don't even remember who. Oh, Father plays All for One. He's
Yeah, I don't even know the name, but like All for One's voice actor is fucking killing it. He is perfect cast.
Weirdly enough, I know this is unrelated, but the only character I've gotten people who are big Japanese show stands to agree that which character has a better voice in English than Japanese. The only one was Compress, because
All Might's really good in Japanese. He's still better in English.
Yeah, they will not admit that.
Like fucking made fucking Chris Sabat in a test tube just to play that part.
Yeah, but no, they'll only make Compress just because Compress's English voice hams it up like crazy for his like essentially playing a actual magician persona, whereas in Japanese he just sounds like a generic henchman villain.
Yeah, no, I know which friends these are. They can all fucking jump in a dumpster with their opinion. Sorry. And not every dumpster. We're the good dumpster. We keep this place clean.
Yeah.
Like,
Garbage
they
gang.
gotta go like a fucking. They gotta go like be in like a Kroger's dumpster.
Oh. All right. Next fight though, very classic. Man, you got to talk about Luffy versus Lucci.
Goddamn.
Recycle them friends.
For fucking really a decade.
Oh,
This
yeah.
fight is just whatever visually. This fight is just great storytelling wise.
And the choreography is actually pretty great still.
This is one of the most visceral fights. Like, this is exhausting to watch. Luffy is just getting the shit beat out of him for like 20 fucking episodes.
Yeah. There are certain
Like,
fights there's certain fights Luffy is in where he gets like we just see him get shit stomped for him to pull out something in the end or just lose and then come back like with some kind of strategy. But this is one of the few times where we see Luffy pretty much exhaust everything and pull out a win. But at the cost of like being able to walk for a while.
Like, yeah, he gets 3 steps. He literally collapses in the gaping hole he put in the fucking wall.
Yeah.
When he put Rob Lucci through it.
Yeah, but Gear Second is used to its ultimate limit after only being introduced in Luffy's previous fight. We see Gear Third for the first time, and God, we see Luffy get destroyed. Whatever Lucci's big move is called, like the Rakogun or something, he just shoots his soul through you. Man, he takes like 4 of those to the chest. He's just drenched in blood after that. It's
actually one of the more like painful to watch ones is that last one where Lucci grabs Luffy with his tail.
Yeah, he's tied him. Yeah, because Luffy has already taken 2 of them, tries to run away. But then he gets grabbed.
Yeah, he tries to back away from the shot and gets grabbed by the fucking tail and hit dead on.
Yeah, and at that point, the fight was actually thought to be over, but Luffy barely stays on his feet long enough to throw one last move to win. Which is one of still the best scenes, like, in early One Piece by far. The Jet Gatling is still, like, him screaming, just throwing punches to try and win.
God, it's exhausting, and I still get mad at Toei because, dude, by this point,
Yeah.
this is already one of, if not the most popular anime in the world, and it's already being shown up by all its peers.
Mm-hmm. At least, like, at least now it's finally starting to get the budget and the respect it deserves.
It took 20 fucking years, 22 years until we started getting good-looking One Piece.
Yeah,
it was until 2019.
Yeah, it was like halfway through Whole Cake Island. This is when we finally start getting like real good animation. At least some of the movies were looking good before that, but it was like just the movies.
Now, this is personal preference. I dislike a lot of their, like, quote-unquote fancier art because everything looks so plasticky, both in Dragon Ball Super, even when Dragon Ball Super is well animated early on.
Yeah, early on.
In One Piece, even when it looks nice, it looks like plastic, and I don't like it.
Yeah,
that's me
fair.
Personally. That's just
some of those still look bad. I think mid-good tier. I think mid-good. I think like right below.
I think top of tier, honestly.
I think top of good. That's fair. It is fair. It's still good. Despite how up and down animation wise, the choreography is still great. The story of just Luffy having to win. He literally must win. If he loses, his whole crew is either captured or dead.
Yeah.
It is definitely
probably chilly because
yeah,
the Marines ain't gonna let him live.
Yeah, God, I mean, honestly, checking out Impel Down like a few arcs later, man, going to jail in that world sucks. Like, Impel Down's like the maximum security prison. That's awful.
Recycle them friends. I'm just not seeing that comment.
Yeah, I saw that they recycled them friends.
What was that for?
That was for when we talked about All Might having a great English voice. We said they had to go in the dumpster for their bad opinions.
Oh, no, that's fair. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if you can recycle bad taste.
You can only make them. You can only replace them. Of course. Next is the last 45 minutes of Super Broly. It's just...
I think it's longer than that, but yeah, that's fair. Just throw it up in Amazing already. We already know.
Yeah.
Not only is this a fucking gorgeous fight scene, it's a gorgeous fight scene that goes on just as long as the Naruto fight scene, if not a little longer.
Yeah.
And it's never not gorgeous.
Yeah.
Even the
CGI scenes are pretty good. Yeah.
If they are, like, at least passable and they're dynamic.
Oh, very much so. Man, that color scheme was, like, gorgeous. Not to mention, man, when you have a story that doesn't focus on Goku, or in some cases Vegeta, man, Broly's story is excellent in that movie.
Yeah, no, they turned Broly from an absolute joke into an actual sympathetic character.
And honestly, it's one of the few cases that the non-finish of the fight is perfect. Like, it's like obviously, like Gogeta clearly has the win, but it does end with him not like Broly getting away. But
Broly is about to die.
Yeah, but it clearly sets up for the possibility of a Goku and Goku or Vegeta versus Broly in the future, and that's great. Because they need Gogeta to win, but a fight without world-destroying stakes means we can have an actual fight with them. Probably won't happen, but if it does, that'll be great.
I mean, the big thing is our big bad is actually a person we really just don't want to see die. Because we know he doesn't deserve to die, but Goku and Vegeta have no way to know that.
Exactly. He just literally appeared with Frieza and attacked them immediately.
Yeah, they have no way to know it. So it's as much as it is a very fun, energetic fight, there is a little bit of tragedy that I definitely sell at the very end.
Yeah, Broly going too far consistently and probably going to die from his own power or just be killed.
Yeah,
You know.
and nothing about that to me says it's a non-ending. They
Mm.
wish Broly away, which is an ending to the fight, but even if they hadn't, he would have just died, which would have been the end of the fight.
Yeah.
Either way, a non-ending really is there's not a definitive winner. No, there was a definitive.
That's true.
Also, the best use of fusion we've ever seen in the entire franchise.
Yeah, it's very true. Next fight. Now this one's all you because I don't remember this fight and I did not have time to watch it. This is a Scar versus King Fura Bradley. Or Fura King Bradley. That's his name. Fura King Bradley.
This is a great, but like bottom of great. The big thing working against this fight is this is not the primary thing happening, but these are two very important characters.
Yeah.
It's well animated, it's well built up to. There's a lot of thematics going on. My biggest complaint is these two characters have never really interacted or even like I don't think they've even mentioned each other ever. But big but thematically, it makes entire sense. Entirely, the most sense that these two characters would be the ones duking it out.
I mean,
Since
the Impoverished versus the Fura.
I mean, Bradley is the one who
incited the war that almost genocided his people. Yeah.
Not just incited it. They tried to sue for peace, and Bradley's like, no, you just don't understand.
Yeah. No,
I'm not here to sue for peace. I'm here for genocide.
Yeah, I'm here to actively kill everybody. Only complain about this fight. Bradley's still called Wrath, and he should absolutely be Pride.
Yeah, him being Wrath makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
In fact, Pride being Pride only makes a little sense. He's more wrathful.
Yeah, because he has a short temper and lets loose a lot. Anyway, Shinra Kusakabe versus Rekka from the first season of Fire Force.
Oh, man.
I think this, honestly, is bottom of okay. Because I think the fight is well animated. Choreography's fine. But the fact that there's fan service in this fight drastically drags it down. With the 3 scenes of Tamaki. But at least there is a reason for her to be there, even if the fan service actively ruins this fight.
I think this seems to be a bad tier personally, because yes, its art, animation, and choreography are all above the average. They're not like jaw dropping, but they're better than stills. They're serviceable. They're dynamic. They're letting themselves to the fight. But oh boy, is that villain just fucking hamming it up, and not in a very fun way. He's
Rekka, yeah.
Rekka's just whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's his character before he ends up turning out to be bad. So I guess it made sense.
And then we don't like women. This fight kind of proves that the author just is, not big on women, except because they're pretty. Because
just like the creator of Kill la Kill.
Like, we went from Maka Allburn to this shit. Like,
True.
Maka was actually pretty progressive for the time for anime, in that she was the lead character in a shonen anime. Was rarely ever sexualized. Yeah, there was some awful dated banter, even dated for the time.
Mm-hmm.
But Maka was still taken seriously. Tamaki is just there to be literally sexually harassed by everyone against their will.
Yes.
The author is literally the curse on Tamaki.
Yeah. The fan service character in Soul Eater was at least not only into it, but was 1 of age, 2 interested, and 3 was not important at all. Was hardly in the show.
Yeah, not only does the fucking girl get fondled in this fight against both her and the fondler's will. She later then gets all her clothes blown off except for the bare minimum to keep this PG-13.
Yeah.
It's like, that neither of these things were fucking necessary.
No. In fact, as I said before, this fight would actually be pretty decent if it wasn't for that. Like, it would be...
Yeah, I think this would be like top of OK tier.
Yeah.
If not for that.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that fan service. I, watching anime in the 2000s, was used to this level of fan service, but this was the first time watching Fire Force that her fan serviceness actively hurt me watching the show, because it actively getting in the way of a major moment and fight took away from all the emotion and all the action.
I literally grew up watching all sorts of super fan servicing anime. And this show just made me quit it immediately because of the character of Tamaki.
Yeah.
Because she is literally cursed by the author. It's not even, there's not a tangible thing in the world doing this.
No.
The only reason she is constantly groped and fondled is because the author wants her to be groped and fondled.
Yeah, the character actively says, oh, she's just grown up with this curse where people fondle her out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's fucking disgusting. And yeah, it literally made me quit the show.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of, again, two shows, both are on this list. Two shows, right? I had one episode that did something so fundamentally bad I stopped watching. For Fire Force, it was the introduction of Tamaki. For Inuyasha, it was that exact fight.
Yeah. But now to some much better things. Gotta talk about Mob versus Mogami from the second season, Mob Psycho 100.
This, to me, this is low grade tier. And my only reason for it not being top of grade tier is the fight is not what is important in this episode. This fight is...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, so the whole theme of it is an evil, vengeful spirit has infected the little girl. And Mob goes in to stop it because all of their psychics pretty much died or collapsed or what have you just by being in its presence. However, unlike pretty much every other situation Mob has got into, this is actually like a threatening level spirit. It's like the first time we see Mob let loose on purpose. And basically for the story, it's mostly just Mob trying to stop Mogami. And Mogami's in Mogami kind of a case of what, I don't know. I don't really remember Mogami's gimmick, his thing.
The big thing here, it's
such a pretty fight.
Almost in a
true.
sense, it's very much like The Killing Joke.
Okay. It's an interesting...
In the context of, like, alright, so the whole point of The Killing Joke, that they repeat it often in the comic, is one bad day is all it takes to break anyone. And this is very much kind of like, life can beat down anyone. Right. Mogami lived through a very shitty life, and wanted his second chance at it.
Through the little girl.
And he was trying to get Mob to give up, lose his spirit, and essentially have his will broken so he would, for all intents and purposes, die with his spirit separated from his body.
So he could take it, right.
But for this, it's to show that the difference between Mob and Mogami is, Mob might have given it to being a terrible person, but Mob has good people in his life that make his life better, make him better for having them in it.
Right. So thematically, the fight is less important.
Yeah. The fight is really not the important part of this episode. It's really fucking good looking.
Yeah, the choreography is really good. It's not like amazing, but it's good. But God, is it probably the most gorgeous fight in this entire list.
That's we have Uzui and Broly on here, so I can't say that's true.
But man, is it close?
Yeah, it's definitely up there.
Is it gorgeous?
it's probably above the Naruto fights. It's definitely above Kakashi's fight, which
Yeah.
its art quality suffers for its animation in that fight.
Yeah.
Not to the point of hurting the fight, but it does drop down its art quality for the sake of its animation.
But Mob and Mogami definitely does not.
No, God, it's so fucking good. I need to rewatch those episodes. I haven't watched them since it came out, but it's
I'll always
such a
stand,
good
man. The next 2 episodes, though, they break me every time.
I mean, it's just it's apples and oranges. These 2 episodes and the next 2 episodes are fucking amazing.
Yeah, they're some of the best anime I've ever seen.
I mean, Mob Season 2, man. When we're not paying attention to the plot, this is the best fucking show I've ever seen. When we get to the plot, it's still a good show.
I'm very hopeful. Season 3 comes out very soon.
Yeah, no, the plot's done, so I can't wait for us to do,
more
Mob
psychic dumb shit. I'm pumped.
Yeah.
Now,
Absolutely.
hey, it's our we've actually got one more UFO table fight after this, but gotta talk, or not UFO table, sorry. Studio Pierrot, we gotta talk about Ulquiorra versus Ichigo. A fan favorite. People love this fight.
They're wrong. This is a bad fight.
It's
This
really
is
bad.
for threefold reasons. One, this fight thematically is nothing different than the Byakuya fight of the arc prior, and Byakuya fight is much better.
Yeah, choreography is garbage.
The art and animation, the art's fine, the animation's garbage. There is nothing interesting happening on a directorial or editing level. There's no really crazy camera angles. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, and in terms of story, it's just Ichigo wants to save Orihime, Ulquiorra wants to keep her because they talked a little bit, and
well, like he had to keep her because that was what the bad guys wanted, was to keep her.
yeah, for some reason.
Yeah. And then we get to the end of the fight, and it's like, oh boy, this is everyone's favorite part of this fight, except this is the exact same fucking thing as Yusuke's fight with Sensui in the Chapter Black arc. Yusuke dies, then comes back with demon powers, goes berserk, kills Sensui, and then feels really bad that he killed Sensui because he wasn't in control. And that's not how he wanted the fight to go. And this is the same fucking thing, beat for beat. It's the same thing.
Ichigo goes into super demon hollow form, kills Ulquiorra, and then is sad that he didn't personally get to kill Ulquiorra.
Yeah.
Or at least fight him, I guess.
Like, and it's not even like Yusuke at least has a justification of he didn't want to kill a person. He didn't want to kill a human being. Killing demons was one thing, but killing humans was another thing entirely for him.
Mm-hmm.
Ichigo doesn't have that same hang-up here. He's killed tons of fucking hollows in Arrancar by this point.
Yeah, he fought Grimjaw not long before this.
Yeah, it was like his last big fight, happening, I don't know, like 2 to 30 years ago. I don't know. There's like 5 fucking filler arcs in this arc, so I don't know.
That's a fair point. I'd put it I'd put it top of bad. I think top of bad, because I'd honestly consider
like
putting it.
Would literally just be to not get our fucking IP addresses thrown throughout the internet by people who stand for this
I'm
fight.
torn between bottom of okay only for the fact that it actually doesn't upset me. It really doesn't. I just think it's bad. But the rest of bad tier does upset me.
If you want to put it at the top of bad, I don't think it's any higher than bad. I'm debating whether or not it's bad or terrible.
Well, because I think it's better than Shinra versus Rekka. I mean, Saitama Gag is whatever, but... And Kurama's fight sucks.
Kurama's fight has some things going for it. This fight doesn't.
Fine,
the best thing this fight has going for it, it copied from that exact arc.
In fact, moments after.
Yeah.
Alright, well then I'll put Kurama top of bad and then put that below it.
That's fair.
Yeah. So next, much better. Vincent versus Spike from the Cowboy Bebop movie.
I have no fucking clue where to put this. This is absolutely gorgeous, and the fact that it's 20 years old and really hasn't aged at all.
The choreography's
It is
great, the
complicated
animation
most
and
modern
art.
fights.
Yeah, the art and animation's great. The story's great. The fight, the choreography's great. Very little to really complain about.
Right tier,
Bottom
like,
of great.
I can't.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't think. It's not amazing. There's nothing about that really like fucking moves me in any way.
Yeah.
But man, for what is essentially a really long one-off episode with a one-off villain who's written really well,
Yep.
this is a really good fucking fight.
That's why this movie's considered like one of the best like movies based on shows for anime. Period. Just because it just
I have
feels
a
like
lot of competition.
it's true, but
Epic competition is on this fucking list.
I mean, some of it, yes. Well, then next we've got our last Toei fight. We've got Monkey D. Luffy versus Katakuri from Whole Cake Island.
I have not watched a whole of this fight. I would not put this fight below good, regardless, if not great.
Yeah, I actually
only
just watched this in its entirety for the first time just yesterday. Actually, I finished it today. Now that I think about it, I'd put it in great. I mean, if Luffy is good, is top of good, I think this is at least low great.
That's fair.
Because the choreography is excellent. Like, it's very fun to watch. The animation, again, not like incredible, but it is some of the best One Piece has looked to that point, for sure.
I mean, honestly, it's probably like the next tier down from incredible. Like, it's not Broly or fucking Demon Slayer levels of animation.
Yeah.
But it's still really good. Like, it's still very fluid, very dynamic.
Yeah.
They have a lot of fun with the observation hockey in that.
Very
like
true.
the human visualization of observation hockey is great.
And plus, we got the nice story of so it's obviously another no-win situation. If Luffy loses, his friends die. It's that's simple. But we also get the whole thing of we essentially get a training arc in this fight of him learning how to use observation hockey by studying Katakuri during the fight. We get Katakuri's whole backstory, including an excellent story moment of him essentially getting the win early on in the fight because one of his sisters gets involved and attacks Luffy from behind. And Katakuri literally screaming at them with rage and hate because they would think that he'd want to win like that. Only for them to hate and reject him because they think he is ugly. Because he's had to hide who he is from his family forever. And only to reject all that because Luffy's just so damn fun to interact with.
I wish you hadn't said that last part because I was building up the Tien did it first joke in my head.
Oh. Because he didn't do that.
Until you said the last part.
Oh
no, Tien definitely did that first, just not the second half of that.
Oh, okay.
About how like Tatsu was interfering in that fight when Tien found out, he screamed at him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but like Tatsu did call him fucking ugly and leave.
Oh yeah,
Jesus.
No, his family literally rejects him, thinks he's hideous, and calls him a freak. And he just ignores them and gets back to fighting.
At least he's having fun.
Yeah, no, it's honestly a great character. It's pretty much the reason people love Katakuri is because he's not just he's not the big serious meathead he looks like he is. He's actually like kind of a mama's boy who just loves to eat sweets all day and is very lazy.
Also, isn't Big Mom his mom?
Yeah.
Like, they got the nerve to call Katakuri ugly.
Yeah. He also has a $1 billion bounty on his $1 billion berry bounty on his head.
Yeah.
he's also like by far the strongest person in their. He's literally second in command to Big Mom Pirates. But he knew they would reject him. His family would reject him. I mean, Big Mom doesn't seem like that, to be fair. But his sister and like their brothers reject him. She has like 56 children, by the way. If you didn't know that.
I know. She's got a lot.
Yeah, among like I think 30 something husbands. But yeah, every part of it's good. We get tons of story. Like, yeah, the animation's not always great, but the choreography is very good. We get a lot of good character moments, and the reveal of Snake Man is just perfect. Literally just showing us, hey, he's pretty much learned observation hockey. And we don't even get the shonen thing. When he turns into Snake Man, he doesn't just win the fight or start beating him down. They're evenly matched now. And that's like not something we get in shonen anime ever. Usually when you get that big power up, it's just a wash at that point. But no, it just kind of evens the playing field more.
Yeah, it just puts Luffy on his level, and even then only barely.
Yeah, and that just makes it that much better because it feels more of a back and forth contest, and it's really good. It makes me excited to see more and more because One Piece has been just killing it for a very long time, and now the anime is killing it too, which is a shocker.
I really want to get to Wado, but I'm like, fuck, I'm like 800 chapters behind.
Yeah, you are. I understand. It's a commitment. It took me a while to catch up.
I do not like Skypiea.
That's fair.
Like, I know I like Enies Lobby and Water 7 because I skipped Skypiea the first time I tried to get through it, and I really liked those two arcs.
That's funny.
But I'm like, do I just skip it again?
I mean, I liked Skypiea, but you can do what you want. Water 7, Enies Lobby, all good. It's really good stuff. We've got one last fight though.
Yeah.
And it's the last one from Studio Pierrot. It's Naruto and Sasuke versus Momoshiki from Boruto.
Top, maybe middle of great tier.
Yeah.
It's not S tier because I do not give a fuck about what's happening.
Yeah.
Not in the slightest bit do I give a fuck.
It's true. Moon people invading is pretty boring, but
Moon
good.
people is what makes me not like Naruto.
And this
Like,
is just more of that.
Naruto for me.
But god damn, animation and choreography is excellent, and honestly the story of Moon People is uninteresting, but god, the story of Naruto and Sasuke working together for the first time since like the early parts of original. What's up? Oh yeah, since that's true, they work together a little bit there too.
I mean, not even a little bit, like entirely.
Yeah, but god, it's good stuff, man. Choreography, it's like the first time they work together as friends, and it actually feels like they're friends for once, not just like rather than them saying they're friends.
Yeah, they're. I mean, Sasuke is just, from what I've seen, for the most part, the Vegeta of Boruto. Like, they're fucking a lot up, but like, Sasuke ain't one of them. Sasuke's actually an enjoyable character from the little I've seen him in Boruto.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an absolute joke because, like, you know, he gets stabbed in the eye by a fucking kid. When he has a magic eyes that see everything.
Yeah, it is kind of funny how they had to nerf everybody. Like, now he only has one of his eyes.
And his much less powerful one.
Yeah. Naruto doesn't have his Demon Fox.
People pointed out that, going by the rules they set up in the show, Sasuke's not just, like, nerfed, Sasuke's crippled.
Yeah.
Because because taking out half his Sharingan, which I was still part Sharingan, means he can't pull out his fucking Ghost Samurai armor anymore.
Yeah. At least not the true one. He can probably bring back that Archer one he had forever ago.
You can't even do that. That's something you're supposed to only be able to do. That's why Kakashi only does it when he has both Sharingan
that's
eyes.
That's right. He can only do it when he gets the special eye from Obito, which he loses.
He loses both of them, somehow.
Kakashi? I thought he only lost the one.
Yeah. No, he's got no Sharingans anymore.
Yeah, I think that was like because it was a temporary thing. Yeah, Naruto. Hey, at least Naruto's still got 6-path stuff, so he's still pretty strong. That's about it though.
He's got Sage Mode too, and that already made him strong enough to be Hokage there.
Yeah, but 6-path Sage is just better Sage Mode, and he can do it without having to meditate.
I mean, yeah,
that's
fair.
That's pretty much it. Literally, there was a whole episode or whatever, a clip I saw of the Raikage like saying, "Hey, you're useless now. Can we start attacking and invading places?" And he just transforms and punch a hole in the wall and like, "Bitch, motherfuckers, you ain't shit. I'm still Hokage."
Dude, I could have fucking folded you before the Demon Fox shit.
Yeah. So I guess that's everything. I guess we should go through a quick recap. We got, of course, Chicken Little at the worst anime fight of all time in Chicken Little tier.
Yep.
We've got, honestly, it probably would still be at the bottom, is GT Goku versus Super 17.
Yeah, it's a pretty fucking terrible fight.
The only time where GT Goku actually seems stupider than Super Goku, which is saying a lot.
Yeah, no, he's really fucking dumb in this fight.
And it's like, the only time. he's really not this stupid.
I don't know. Baby was pointing his fucking giant ass monkey finger at all of his friends, like, I'm gonna shoot him, and Goku just stood there, right next to his hand, and was like, "Don't you do it."
Alright, that's pretty stupid. That's
and
pretty...
then Baby did it anyway, because of course he did. Why wouldn't he?
Well, he didn't think he was that evil.
I didn't think this guy bent on wiping out everything I know and love was that evil as to shoot everyone I know and love.
Natsu versus Gajeel. Yeah, it's terrible. Inuyasha versus...
Fight. That's the most shonen fight. It's not good, but it's got everything shonen.
Yeah, Inuyasha versus Bankotsu, and top of terrible is Meliodas versus Escanor. Good job. You're the least of the terrible shows.
Yeah.
Then we got bad. We've got Saitama versus Speed of Sound Sonic the third time. Shinra versus Rekka, the fan service one. Ulquiorra versus Ichigo, the one people like but it's actually bad. Kurama versus older Toguro because of anime bullshit, but like actually anime bullshit.
But at least it's kind of cool, I guess.
At least it's kind of cool, I guess. So you're the least bad show. Bad fight. Our only okay tier, Predestro versus Shigaraki, because it's fine. It's totally fine.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Yep, it is whatever. And then our good tier, we've got Mao versus random martial artists who are not named. We've got Joseph Joestar versus Straits. Young Toguro versus Genkai. Jiren versus various characters, but mostly Goku, Vegeta, 17, Frieza, and I don't think Gohan interacts with them at all. So I guess just those four. Yeah. And finally, Luffy versus Lucci, because it's good. Yeah. Now our biggest tier, which is great tier, because we had a lot of great fights that we like to talk about. Because we had Yusuke versus Young Toguro. We had Vincent versus Spike. Scar versus Fura King Bradley. Mob versus Mogami. Luffy versus Katakuri. Rengoku versus Akaza. Saitama versus Boros. Naruto and Sasuke versus Momoshiki. Oh man. 11 members of Class 1A versus 9. I'm not going to name all 11 again. Goku versus Piccolo Jr. from the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament. Gintoki versus
Takatsugi.
Takatsugi. I keep wanting to say Ujitaka. that's a different character. Takatsugi, which is great. And finally, our number one great fight is All Might versus All for One, because yeah, it's very great. Honestly, all those fights are varying degrees of great, and they're all great for different reasons.
They're in great tier for a reason.
Yeah, whatever that
It's
reason
not
is, they're all great.
Yeah. The amazing tier is literally just, you're not just going above and beyond, you're going above and beyond, even above and beyond.
Yeah, like
Being in great tier still means you are a standout.
yeah, great tier pretty
amongst-
much either you nailed 2 or you were great in all 3 of the categories. Pretty much, I think all our cases, they at least nailed like 2 of the 3 of them, but fell
pretty
short in
much.
one area. But an amazing tier, like they pretty much S tiered all 3 of our main criteria. We've got Kakashi versus Obito, Goku, Vegeta, technically Frieza and Whis are in there too, versus Broly from the Super movie. Tanjiro, Usui, and versus it's just those 2 mostly who fight.
Yeah, Tanjiro and Uzui versus Gyutaro, and we could also throw in Inosuke and Zenitsu versus Daki.
Yeah, because it's all like parts of one big fight,
Oh,
and
one
Nezuko
fight.
Nezuko gets involved with Daki as well.
Yeah, but like, we're really here for the Uzui sections of this fight.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'd say all of it is good for different reasons.
Yeah.
But honestly,
Also, in my opinion, it really well for a fight that lasts 6 episodes.
yeah,
With
gotta
like,
say,
nothing distracting from it.
more anime, especially shonen, need to do more team fights. Some of those team fights are like really good.
I like a good solo fight. I like a good team fight. I feel like we get a good amount of both. We've got a good amount of both on this list.
I know, but I always feel like we don't get enough team fights. I mean, all of Dragon Ball has like 4, and
That's fair.
and half of them made it on our list. And number
Also-
one, Naruto versus Sasuke from the end of Naruto, because
I didn't actually think that was going to be our number 1.
yeah, it's like hard to dispute. Honestly, it's almost
it-
perfect. It's so good.
Like, it's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
So, all right, this is a definitive list made by us, the Garbage Gang, and
Yeah.
if you have a different opinion, that's fair. It's also wrong.
Yeah, it's also opinions
Like,
are not facts.
anything I said about like you liking or not liking things I did or didn't, that's only true in an objective way. In a subjective way, you're wrong.
Wait.
Don't worry about it, man. I said what I said. Don't think on it too hard.
So I guess with that, guys, as always, don't forget to stay lucky. Hopefully we'll do more lists. These are always very fun, mostly because all we do is talk dumb shit about anime and video games and stuff, so why not do it in video format? So we'll see you guys
It's
at the
productive.
next one.
Makes us feel like we're doing something.
Absolutely. Bye, guys.
Bye.